Welcome to Pipin' Hot, where the takes are hot and the boys are not. Today's take is
Breakfast sucks.
What? The brick.
The takes are hot.
The boys are not.
Welcome to Pipin' Hot. I'm Casey.
And I'm Cameron. And today, we have a special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen. One of our best friends. We haven't seen him in over a year.
And
because of COVID-19.
His name is
Jason.
It's your boy Jason.
Jason on the pod.
Jason.
This is exciting. You're guest number one.
How's it feel?
It's awesome. I mean, I'm highly honored to be the first guest on this great pod with my man Casey and Cameron.
When we hit
What an honor.
when we hit like episode 200, we're gonna look back. I think when we hit milestones, you have to be our guest.
Jason is the milestone. Like
This is the
This is the
milestone.
first milestone episode.
This is our
without a
first
doubt.
episode with 1 billion listeners.
But it's not just a hallmark of the podcast. It's a hallmark of your life, Jason. Because why are you here at UMD in the first place?
I turned 21 a few days ago.
Oh,
so now I can
yeah.
legally drink booze.
Yes, sir.
This is very exciting. This is not only exciting because it's your 21st. 21st are always exciting. This is exciting because you have not had like any alcohol prior to your 21st, where most people do. I'm gonna self-incriminate myself and say that I did.
Right. I think we're safe to say that we've had our fair share. I am still not technically
Why the fuck
allowed.
would you say that?
Anyways, moving right along. In post.
To be fair though, we did pretty good. I didn't have alcohol. Actually, I didn't have alcohol until UMD. My first time getting drunk was at UMD.
Something about UMD,
University
man.
of Maryland.
Eat a pepper.
I have to eat a pepper right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Damn.
while you're explaining, I guess I'll set it up because obviously Casey and I are usually the ones to tell each other when to eat a pepper, but we figured who better to bestow this honor upon than our esteemed guest Jason.
Right.
So Casey, without further ado.
I'm actually a little hungry, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this could be good. Ooh. That was a good crunch. And you don't have any water or milk with you right now. I don't know if you usually do, but right now
I do.
Right now we have nothing, so we're just gonna kind of struggle through this.
I was expecting it to be nothing, and it's really bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Whole Foods jalapenos hit. Although these were in the fridge until like 2 minutes ago, so I'm really surprised.
Got it.
No, he's okay. He'll be fine.
On me.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. That's why everyone's tuning in
Dude,
right now.
I got the heat hiccups. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to explain
Yep.
my drunk story while I'm hiccuping. Okay.
I think this is already better. Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my first time getting drunk at UMD, I had never drank before.
Right.
And I was 18. I didn't drink until I was 18.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
I
solid.
think. And came to UMD with my church friends.
Okay, very nice. Interesting group of friends to get drunk with. The first time,
My
but-
parents are not going to listen to this.
No.
My parents. So we all went to the same school, same high school.
Yes, sir.
And I'm still hiccuping. And we were all it's like a very small liberal arts private school. Pretty sheltered, pretty safe.
Oh yeah.
And so my parents were always cautious of me like staying over at places when we would go like parties, like key school parties.
Oh yeah.
Which there weren't really any, but I think they were wary because most of the people that would throw them were girls. They like wouldn't let me stay over at girls' houses.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so, but anytime I wanted to do anything with my church friends, which were like my neighborhood friends, because I didn't live right by the school, I could go.
Well, sure, because it's all you're going with all the children of God.
I'm going with children of
I mean, come on.
I'm going with the lambs of God.
I mean, come on.
And so I could do like legitimately anything. Two of my best friends, Gavin and Tommy, they knew that I was like the safe kid with the like church kids, and so they're like we gotta get you drunk.
Have to do it at some point.
We gotta get you drunk. Tommy's brother at the time went here. So I asked my parents, I was like, can I go to UMD, like stay over at Patrick's place? And they were like, yes, with Tommy, of course.
So praise the Lord anytime.
And then they gave me an ungodly amount of alcohol because I'm a heavyweight. And so it just takes a while for me to get drunk. And
Like still or then?
Well, less so now. Actually, much less so now.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that at the time. We didn't know if I was a
right.
heavyweight
Sure.
or not.
Sure.
So and also the first time you drink, like really drink, I think you take more than you should because you don't know what drunk
100%.
feels like yet.
100%.
So I was like not feeling it because I didn't know what feeling it was yet.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was drunk until I saw the room spinning, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember the moment so vividly. The Club Can't Handle Me Right Now by Flo Rida was on. One of Jason's favorite artists, actually.
Actually, we need to,
And I was like on the bed and I was like, I can't see anything. It's like I'm legally blind right now. So that's my first drunk story.
Wow.
And we're going to get you drunk tonight. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to.
we're
gonna drink tonight. And what alcohol have you tried now that you've been 21 for a couple days?
I've had a margarita. One time I did go to Europe, so I did have some alcohol there.
And what alcohol did that consist of?
I had champagne and wine in Paris, and I had gin, and I forget what else, something else in England.
A man of culture, if I may say.
Wine and champagne in Paris?
Champagne in, what was in Paris?
Hold on. I was going to make a Kanye joke too. That's bougie as hell. That's super nice.
Jason, that's very elite.
Yes.
What do you prefer out of all of them?
Both were good. I'm not much of a white wine guy. The champagne was really good. I also had the regular French wine at a I don't know if you've heard of Michelin starred restaurant, but that's where I had it there.
Damn.
No, we build different. I don't.
I had a Four Loko at a UMD, and you had champagne at a Michelin star restaurant in goddamn Paris.
And why? So wait, why? So was the champagne in Paris before you had anything to drink here in the States?
I may have had tried a margarita or something like that beforehand.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously someone that does not drink often. Maybe occasionally I'll have something, but
Was there like a defining reason other than just never stumbling across? Like were you ever in a position where you're like, I want to wait until I'm 21 to drink in the States?
Maybe a little to an extent. One thing is I just like to have control of my facilities. Getting drunk takes that away. So I just don't like that position.
Yeah, there are definitely been, I mean, it's obviously like we're boys in the pod. We're going to get reckless sometimes. But
oh, yeah.
There's definitely times where I've been drunk and I'm like, why the fuck am I drunk right now? Like, I don't want to be drunk right now.
Well, I mean, even I kind of agree to the point you just made. I mean, the first time that I got drunk, you were there. You witnessed this because you were still sober at the time. Casey was also rather gone, so I don't know how much you remember of this.
I think it was my second time.
We were in a friend's condo, I think. So it had steps and it was time to go. It was super late. And I didn't really know how gone I was until I had to walk down a flight of stairs.
Were those the spiral ones?
No, it was ones outside. It was like
because spiral
would have
stairs
messed me up
with kids. Because here's the thing:
been the end.
Repressed kids go hard. if you're a parent that's not very much restricting things, which I'm not gonna blast my parents. They really weren't, but they definitely were. They're not the kind of parents that are you can drink in the house.
Right, exactly.
They were don't drink. Don't do it till you're 21, knowing that I probably would. They're not dumb. But yeah, the repressed kids, because then they don't know what to do. They're gonna go buck wild.
I mean, it's crazy thinking back on it. I mean, everything is a little foggy from that night, but I remember, and other people have verified this, that I had 11 drinks in 1 hour.
In an hour?
In an hour.
Yeah, that was correct.
That's how hard I went. And to the day, I can't go 11 drinks a night without feeling sick. But that first night,
disgusting.
I went insane. And I don't know how I came out of that.
You, did I?
No, because at a certain we matched the first
actually,
six.
to answer that question, you actually exceeded him. I remember.
Oh, bitch! What the fuck? No. What?
If my memory serves correct, you had 13.
Damn.
I think you had
Holy
a little
shit.
Before, so you had definitely gone hard. You may have even gotten up to 17.
You know, I remember this actually because
you're a little bitch.
Bro, I know. I remember I got there.
11 drinks in an hour.
Shut the fuck up. I remember I got there and you had already had one, and after that I matched you for a while. But then when we stopped matching each other, we just stopped drinking at the same time, but we had the same amount. So you were always up that like 1 or 2 from the beginning.
Okay.
So you like bare minimum yet. But like to that point, I was at 11, you were at 13. That scares me today. I
That's
would never do
terrifying.
11
I think I would
in
die.
a night.
I think I would die.
Like it's insane.
I don't think I would do like I think I tend to cap out at like 6 or 7.
Soft cap is
if
like
I'm
6
really
to
trying to
8.
get drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to touch back on Cameron's point, I'll remember I was there after he had it. He was gone, and it got to the point, to take Cameron's story of what happened when he first got drunk. He had to narrate every single thing that he was doing when he got drunk. So he's like, I'm going to go brush my teeth.
Yep.
I'm going to
I don't
walk.
remember this at all.
Yeah.
And you were actually not there because I believe
We'd gone
my
back.
friend
We'd gone
JB and
back
I-
at that point.
our friend JB and I, we left beforehand, so we were...
Friend of the pod, you want to come on the camera? You want to come for a shot? Friend of the pod.
I'm here too, you guys.
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
like to note
so-
that this friend of Jason's is my actual roommate.
We would like to note that he will be on many episodes of the pod.
Yeah. So when Cameron got back, he was narrating everything. From my memory, I don't remember you being terribly hungover the next day.
I was okay actually.
Yeah,
I was
you
okay.
survived. You survived, but
Yeah.
it was definitely a situation where you needed to narrate everyone to make sure we knew. Okay, Cameron's safe. This is what Cameron's doing.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
I remember at the party, because there were a couple people there, because you weren't drinking, you were sober the whole entire time. We had like 1 or 2 other friends there who were as
there
well,
were,
and I kept reporting to them. I went over and I remember I told one friend. I think you were one of the friends too, but I went over to one friend in particular.
Remember, there were approximately, if my memory gets correct, there were 11 of us. 5 of us were sober. 6 of us got drunk to
There
varying
were
levels.
5 sober.
See,
people
that's
there?
but that's what I'm saying. We like when we talk about getting drunk for the first time or whatever. Like we had a very safe friend group. Like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was the kind of friend group that like we would like butterflies in your stomach for like holding hands. And like I know that like
We
is
didn't even
common,
hold hands.
but not at all.
No
dude.
way.
There were many of us
Oh,
that
that
had
poor
crushes.
silence afterwards. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
God.
What?
We were both like, we didn't even hold hands. We laughed and then both went for a moment. The sadness in our eyes.
Because I honestly think like there were 11 of us, and I think
Mhm.
like 40% had crushes on each other
Yeah.
either at the time or previously. Like,
Yeah.
It was an interesting situation.
but it was like crushes, not like
Yeah.
people having sex with each other.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah,
weren't
exactly.
that friend.
We
Yeah, we
couldn't.
weren't. We weren't that great.
It was like very safe, and so that's what I'm saying. Like we had actually, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying we had like a repressed friend group
yeah.
where we were either going like so hard or not at all.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were being like hella safe about it because we had like
We were very
five
safe. We had
mother
chaperones.
figures. We had
yeah.
chaperones.
I kept reporting to my chaperone. I was like, this is number
Yeah.
7. And she would look back and be like, that was actually number 12. You need to relax.
Yeah, we were lucky.
Who was-
I can
Were
actually.
you my chaperone? Who was my chaperone?
Well, all 5 kind of just
Yeah,
shared
it
because
was,
I had a
right,
few.
Right.
It was 5 of us. We basically divvied up the thing because Casey and Cameron did get drunk. They were not the worst. They were not hit the worst. We had one friend that ended
I'll
up.
take that.
That was bad.
Actually, yeah, he got pretty sick. So 2 of the sober people had to make sure that he was being taken care of. He was safe, and then we had the other 3, myself included, keeping control of everyone else. So, but we were able to manage. We got through it. I know some of the chaperones weren't necessarily the most pleased about it. I was not. I was fine. Hell, they're getting drunk. It's beach week. That's what you do. So
Kids, this is a PSA. Please be safe.
Be safe, drink
Uh,
responsibly.
don't
and most
drink
importantly,
befo-
drink water.
Drink water.
Drink lots of
I
water.
was talking about this with my dad. Okay, well, first, don't drink before you're 21. Don't listen to us.
No.
We
no.
actually didn't drink before 21. I don't know what you're talking about.
This was all made up for the
I've
pod.
never-
I'm
I've
a
actually
child
never
of-
had alcohol.
I'm still
Cameron,
20, so
Cameron.
I'm still 20, so by definition, I'm not allowed to drink anything. I haven't drunk.
I haven't had a lick of alcohol. I'm 26 now, and I haven't had any alcohol.
Oh, you're an actual child of God.
Yeah,
I like that.
I-
No sinning.
No, never taking the Lord's name in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Bullshit.
Never
held a false idol.
No.
Can I name all 10 commandments right
Yeah.
now? I
Yeah, let's see.
definitely
Can you do it?
Hold on. No, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Don't worship false idols.
Mm-hmm.
Don't commit adultery.
Okay, yeah. 3
Don't
out of 10's pretty good so far.
be gay, right? That's one of them.
Oh, it has to be.
I think that's
No, that was on the lost third. There's a third tablet.
There's 10.
Because there was there were 15, but they lost one of the
lost.
tablets, and that on that one was the
Yeah, so
5.
on the 15 tablets, it goes back to History of the World Part 1 of Mel Brooks.
Oh, is that true? Oh.
Yes, where
Yeah.
Mel Brooks acting as Moses dropped the third tablet, and one of those was the third tablet with thou shalt not be gay.
Oh, that's... I made a joke that Mel Brooks made 40 years ago. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, man.
Damn it. I thought I
What
was
type of tablets
clever.
were they? Were they like iPads? Or
Yo,
Google?
fucking good one, bro.
Thanks, man. That's it for the pod, actually. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
That's the this is the last episode of the podcast. No, let's move right along.
Speaking of sacrilege.
Why
Why, Jason?
do you think breakfast sucks? You know, take the mic for this one.
Yeah, so the food, first off, really is not that great in my opinion, except like croissants, muffins are good, but the other thing is when I sleep in late, it's just not worth it to get up early to eat breakfast. I mean, you just eat lunch, you have a snack at like 3 o'clock, so if you get up at like 11, what the hell's the point? You're basically almost to lunchtime, so what's the point in eating breakfast if you have to get up early? It's just worthless.
I have just one quick question here, and this might go back to the main crux of this argument that you don't typically enjoy breakfast foods. I do tend to sleep in a lot, and in so doing, I just turn lunch into breakfast. I just have breakfast foods for lunch instead. So
Breakfast,
is it,
if you will. I'm gonna start
Jesus
calling
Christ.
brunches breakfast.
Oh. Oh.
I'm ready to have my breakfast mimosa.
Oh, that's so grim. That's so crusty. But so wait, it's the food mostly, not the time, because you could eat like breakfast foods for lunch and just get away with calling it like the first meal of the day.
I mean, the other thing is I also just prefer like lunch foods, whether that's soup. I had a sub today, subs, sandwiches, salads. I just think that those are better foods. I enjoy them more than eating, breakfast. Breakfast in terms of food is my least favorite of the day. Actually, it turns out in terms of what I like the most, I like breakfast the least, lunch second, dinner as my favorite. So.
You know, I'm actually going to not fully side with Jason here. I'm not going to fully side with you. But I do get your argument of, like, waking up late. I tend to, like, sometimes turn it into breakfast. Like, I'll sometimes do breakfast foods. But I do like if I wake up at, like, 11, then actually tying this back to being hungover. Like, if I'm hungover, I can't eat till, like, 3.
Yeah.
But... yeah, like I will skip or I'll like wait the hour or whatever till 12 to like have a sandwich or have leftover whatever,
I just don't think I couldn't imagine like, and obviously to your point, you do say that you wait a little bit after waking up when you sleep in, but like I can't imagine waking up at like 11 if I really sleep in or like noon and then heating up a nice bowl of like tomato bisque. You know what I mean? Like
wait.
that.
No, I'm saying
But like I don't know if I could wait long enough because like I feel like I typically wake up pretty hungry, like ready to go.
I don't always. I sometimes do. But I think that like I can't do it right. I can't do it right away.
Yeah.
Like if I wake up, I can't like get up and eat a taco. Like I have to like wait an hour, which is fine depending,
Yeah, I'd 100% personally agree with that. I tend to wait about an hour and a half. Sometimes if I'm really hungry, I'll eat something right away, but
So are you not an egg person?
yeah, I'm not like a scrambled egg guy. No.
But you're a
not
chicken guy. You're chicken over the
mean,
egg.
For chicken, interesting.
Did
thing-
come first.
Interesting fact about my
Next
chicken.
episode. Which came first? The chicken or the egg? Can we debate?
For an hour and a half. Which came first? Jeez, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so with chicken, I don't like just plain chicken because
Okay,
it
I
tastes so
agree.
freaking bland.
I
Correct.
agree.
You need to have something with chicken, whether that's chicken noodle soup or put some gravy on it, rice, whatever. But plain chicken is trash. It sucks.
I will raise you for breakfast. Because I do think
I know
that
where this is going.
I first of all, eggs are like the most versatile. Sometimes they feel like they're a little grody if you're thinking about it too hard, but like you can't get past eggs Benedict. But here's what I'm gonna say:
So good.
breakfast food is the only food that you can eat at every time. Like you can't, like you can have breakfast for dinner. That's a common, but you can't have dinner for breakfast.
No.
You want to eat a meatloaf at 9:30 in the morning?
Come on, you just with your morning coffee?
Meatloaf before the sun has risen?
No. No.
Fuck, man. No.
Not a chance.
Chicken cordon bleu?
No.
Actually, that would be pretty good in the morning. I'm not going to lie. That's almost a breakfast food.
But Jason, one thing I want to, because there's a few amalgamations out there that are considered sins to God, but I feel like I have to ask you about some of them, like breakfast pizza. You like pizza. It's traditionally a dinner food.
I don't think breakfast pizza is as common as you think it is. Isn't it just that one that we got?
It might be.
That's like, it had...
It might be.
Yeah, we got to save room
I'm
for the
so
crunch.
sorry. I got all over you. I'm so sorry.
You didn't get on me.
I didn't? Okay, thank God.
Because we had one pizza we found it at the grocery store that was like, the crust was like buttery croissant almost.
It was a biscuit.
It was a biscuit, and then on it was breakfast sausage and like a cheese sauce.
It was Alfredo.
Alfredo. That's the night I blew my back out.
Yeah. It was like the last time we could see each other before we go to college in case his back collapses.
I'm literally like, I had never had that happen before. It just gave out on me. But I don't think breakfast pizzas are that common.
They might not be.
Breakfast pizzas are extremely uncommon.
But then,
You fucking idiot.
but then, I have a counterpoint. Chicken and waffles.
Yeah. Chicken and waffles is great.
Fried chicken, a waffle, any time of the day. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Bombaclat. Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, I don't tend to eat chicken. I don't think I've ever had chicken and waffles. I've been alive 21 years now. Never had them. Tasty's kind of dying right now because he's laughing really hard. Cam's about to vomit because he ate jalapenos.
Was it the pepper that got you or the bombaclat?
No way, you just said bombaclat on the pod. Oh my God.
Oh man. Okay.
Third episode.
Regardless of wait, this is a question for you, Cameron, since you have not eaten chicken and waffles. Do you eat chicken and waffles with gravy or syrup?
I prefer it with gravy.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Also,
I've done
do
it
you
with
say
syrup.
syrup
but
or syrup?
Syrup.
Syrup.
Thank God. Okay, we're good. Oh my God. You good? Are you okay over there?
So it like wasn't really bad, but I really started salivating,
Okay.
and I don't have like any like this like this is so grim. It was spicy,
Yeah.
so I kept like swallowing to get rid of it,
Uh-huh.
and it just kept compounding the
Yeah,
spice.
Yeah.
And then you had to go and say bombaclot, and it's like my body just went into like second gear. I started tearing up and shit.
Okay.
My tongue hurts. But yeah,
We were talking about alcohol earlier. Speaking of the spice, I learned this today, which my dad told me, which I find really fascinating.
But yeah.
Did you know IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale?
Really?
And it's because
Wait, like Native American or like Indian? from Asia?
like India.
Okay.
Because I mean, my dad told me this. So it's maybe not like who knows. I trust my dad.
That's a dad fact.
This is a dad fact. Dad fact. The reason that so a beer is either more malty or more what was the other one? Hoppy.
Hoppy. Okay.
And the malty is sweet, the hoppy is bitter. So if it's hoppier,
Gotcha.
then it's a bit more bitter. And he thinks it's weird that IPAs are so popular now because they're hoppier, they're bitter.
You're right.
And the reason they're like that, like he's like, it's blasphemous to me that you would just sit and drink an IPA. But it's because when they're like a pale ale makes your tongue kind of like, it kind of like numbs your tongue a little bit.
Okay.
And Indian food is really spicy. And
Right.
so it's supposed to like complement the Indian food. But like as like an
Oh, okay.
American
Interesting.
dish, it's like really strange.
Weird.
That's my dad
Okay.
fact, beer fact.
That is fascinating. I think I've never had. I don't think I've quite matured. My taste buds haven't matured to the point where I can like distinguish and be like, "Oh, this beer is bitter. It's a
Right.
IPA," or like you know what I mean. Like I haven't.
This
I'm just
beer
like-
is
it's-
Budweiser.
Yeah, it's not as spicy as vodka. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So that's interesting.
Okay, wait. Can I bring out the sexiest segue?
Hit me with it.
All right. So, if we're drinking beers, what are we probably watching when we're drinking beers?
Oh, sports. Come on,
Sports.
now.
But what sport specifically?
Football.
Football. And what is happening right now?
The NFL draft.
The NFL draft. Let's talk about the NFL draft
Let's
a little
talk
bit.
about the NFL
'Cause
draft
'cause
right now.
Jason's a big sports fan. You're a big sports fan. Specifically a big Baltimore Ravens fan. The first episode of the pod, we talked about we didn't really talk about any predictions. We talked about how we were feeling about the draft.
Right. Yep.
It will release after the draft, so people won't know that we talked about it before the draft. But now the first, second, third, and probably fourth at this point rounds have passed.
Yep.
How do you feel the Ravens did? How do you feel overall? How do you feel the draft has gone?
Draft has gone well. I will say, as a Ravens fan, our front office, our organization, Eric DeCosta, Ozzie Newsome specifically, are probably the best in the business. So I'm really proud with how well we did in the draft. Thank goodness I'm not a Las Vegas Raiders fan. Their organization, TV guys, I don't know why the heck, hot take here, I don't know why you'd put TV guys in running your organization. That's been a bit of a disaster. But the Ravens have gotten multiple players in later rounds that should have gone earlier. So it's just how they build their team. Very proud of the team. So, yeah, I think we're going to compete. We got Lamar some receivers. We've got a good new offensive lineman, good new pass rusher. I believe we got another good cornerback to add to our best secondary in the league. So I'm feeling very, very confident about the Ravens. They're always a good team. They're going to do well. Thank goodness that, honestly, after the draft, I will say I don't see many teams that are going to be terrible next year. The Houston Texans, I think, will suck. Obviously, Detroit's going to suck, but they have a lot of first-round picks. And who knows with Vegas? They look good, but they kind of crashed down the hill. So we're going to see what happens. I think it's going to be a fun season.
You didn't put the Jets in that category. You don't think the Jets are going to suck?
I mean, the Jets do typically suck. Their GM works with the Ravens, so obviously he knows what he's doing. I think the Jets, they do suck. But this year I think they have potential to maybe be kind of bad or meh. But I don't think that they're going to be a 2-14 unmitigated disaster, though the Dolphins and the Bills and the Patriots, who are in their division, have all gotten better. So I think that that's going to be challenging. But the Jets are playing a last place schedule, which should be advantageous for them.
I do think that I think that I really trust the GM now. You're right. I think Joe Douglas is one of my favorite GMs in the league. I'm envious of both of you. You mentioned that the Ravens are consistently good. I'm envious of both of you because you both have consistently good teams.
Correct.
And I have a very consistently bad team.
I would like to say, though, to that point, that I paid my dues. I was bullied for 3 years in lower school because the Seattle Seahawks around 2008 were not very good. We were a bit of a joke. And I know we've had good success recently, but there was a time when I could empathize with you, Casey. I know what it means to have a Garbo team, to be the butt of every joke. The Ravens have been pretty successful the entire time they've been around, though. You've been on top
I don't
pretty
think
much
there's been
since their conception. Since
have they had a losing season?
Yeah, so the first football game I went to was 2006. I don't really remember other than I think it was in October, actually against the Jets. I don't remember who won, so that means the Ravens probably
the
lost.
Jets.
But yeah, the 2007 season, before I was really into it, we sucked. I started going consistently to my first games in 2008. The Flacco years, did well in the playoffs. I got season tickets, which I still have, with my dad. We sit behind the visitors' bench, which is a good time. So we've been pretty good through that. We had we had one bad year, but we had like 40 guys on injured reserve. So obviously you're gonna struggle.
Sure.
We had mediocre years, which for a Ravens fans bad. But other than that, we've been really good. I would prefer to have more Super Bowls, but the team's always good. And more importantly than that, we have a lot of really, really good players that are fun to watch.
I think right there is like the epitome of like there are two different types of fans. There are the teams like you and me, Jason, that are like we could have more Super Bowls, we could have been better. And then there's Casey, who is like I would just like to know what the Super Bowl is, what it's
Look,
like.
here's the thing.
How does it feel? Would you? And I'm sorry to cut you off here, but I'm curious. Has there ever been a point where you've been like, screw this, the Jets keep breaking my heart. It's time to leave ship, go for somewhere that is competitive, because it's pretty impressive that through their lowest times, you've stuck with them. Since I've known you, you've stayed a Jets fan.
Okay, I cursed myself because I started out as a Ravens fan.
Okay.
Because it was like the local team.
Right.
I think I started watching football consistently probably when I was like 7 or 8.
Okay.
And first year that I wanted to get into football, Ravens, hardcore, ton of Ravens stuff. And then being the quirky little boy that I was like, I want to be different. I don't want to everyone likes the Ravens.
Yeah.
And my mom's side of the family, my grandpa had season tickets to the Jets. They grew up in New York, New Jersey, so they are big Jets fans. And so I was like, I'll be a Jets fan. And that was when they were really good for a couple years. Because they had those 2 years where they went into the AFC Championship game.
That's right.
With Mark Sanchez, the love of my life.
God.
Who has a podcast now. And it's
really?
Pretty, yeah.
We should have him on.
Can we get Mark Sanchez on the pod?
We have to.
Sponsored by DiGiorno.
Yeah.
Get Sanchez on the spot.
So, DiGiorno, we would like you to sponsor us so that way
So we can get
have the
Mark
credibility
Sanchez.
to have Mark Sanchez on the show. Please allow this to happen.
So I cursed myself when I did that, but
Yeah.
that was when they were really good. I was a big fan of LaDainian Tomlinson when they got him.
Oh, sure.
I haven't really considered it because I live for pain, I guess.
Okay, interesting.
I haven't really considered it just because I just think you grow to love a team.
Sure.
And I don't think, and I like the Ravens. I like my second team. Like I enjoy watching the Ravens. I've been watching them a bit more like being away from home.
Mm-hmm.
I will say what I was going to mention earlier is I find it really funny that every fan base, including the Jets, everyone likes to play the victim card, the loser card.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so I'm in Philly. I live in Philly, and so I'll have my Jets hat or whatever. I went somewhere recently that I was wearing my Jets hat, and they were like, Jets fan, I was like, yeah, and they were like, I get it. I can sympathize with you. Like, we're diehard Eagles fans. I was like, bitch, you won a Super Bowl
it's totally
2
different.
years ago.
Totally different.
Absolutely not. The Jets are consistently so bad. But it's fun. It gives me, it's one of my defining characteristics at this point. I think it'd be hard not to be a Jets fan. I've kind of built my character around it.
I respect the commitment to it. And especially because the other team that used to be as bad as y'all were the Browns. They were like 0-16.
That gives me hope, though.
They were 1-31 across 2 seasons, and look where they are now. They're like one of the best teams in the AFC. They're I don't want to say consistently competing because they've only been doing it for like 2 years now, but they've come back, and there's hope, especially with the GM that you have now, the draft class coming through, and hopefully, because you've been so committed. If you're committed long enough, eventually you're gonna have that payoff.
That's
and
what I'm
the
hoping.
longer you wait, the sweeter
it gets.
that victory will be.
My thought always was that I would love them to get really good. Like, I would love to be famous when they're really good.
Yeah.
Which I don't have the desire to be famous anymore, but I did for a long time. And I would, because then I could be like on like Paul Rudd at the Chiefs, like on the sidelines, on the field, like being like the celebrity guy. Because the Jets don't have too many, which is funny, even though they're New York. They have like Adam Sandler, the Wu-Tang Clan, and JB Smoove. Like, that's about it. So
that would be super fun. I mean, imagine us
covering the Super
Bowl
when the Jets. First of all, I see like stats or clips or whatever of like, I think it went around because it was like 10 years since it had happened when the Jets beat the Patriots in the playoffs and then played the Steelers afterwards, because the guy had that interview that was like, I totally forget what the interview was, never mind, but that went around. that team should have at least gone to the Super Bowl. Like,
Sure. Yep.
it was like Santonio Holmes, LaDainian Tomlinson, Plaxico Burress,
That was your chance.
Darrell Revis. I have to eat a pepper for this?
Yes.
God damn it. That's fair.
Jason sees you reminiscing about the good times and says you're having too much fun.
I'm allowed
it's
to-
time to feel some more pain.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Time to feel more pain. But tell me that wouldn't be the best. I honestly think, okay, this is like, I don't know, this, who knows if this will last. But like, dude, I think we could totally like commentate over games.
Mhm.
I think we could totally do like, you know, whether it's soccer or football or basketball, even basketball. Well, you know basketball better, but like a sport we don't. If we could do golf, if we done the Masters,
Golf's not a sport. That's a hot take.
that is a hot take, Jason.
I get the hiccups really bad.
Do you need me
Badly.
to?
How do we get rid of hiccups? A hot take.
According to our 8th grade math teacher, we got to do a handstand against the wall. So it was indeed. Yep, Mrs. Flamingo. So if we can do that, I have peanut
bad.
butter. Do you need some peanut butter?
I'm crying. You
You
see this
are.
tear?
Jason, look what you did to this man.
You made
This
me
man-
cry.
This man was finally in a good place with the Jets, and
I'm
you
so
said,
happy.
Casey Baum, you've had enough fun.
I was
It's time to
reminiscing.
cry.
And now crying. That wasn't that spicy.
Speaking of crying, let's talk about something that made me cry not too long ago. Let's talk about Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. And Casey, I think you know a little bit about this. I think you've been up. But Jason, do you have any? How much do you know about this fight that happened?
You're not big on celebrity culture, are you?
Yeah, I am not someone that's really interested in celebrity gossip. I pay if it's possible to pay negative attention to something, less than zero attention to something, that's what I stand on celebrity gossip.
Do you recognize the name Jake Paul? Like, has that ever come up? Do you
I've
know who
heard
that is?
That he's just done some things that are ethically, to put it lightly, possibly unethical.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard bad things about him, and I think isn't he boxing right now?
He is boxing, so this was a boxing fight that he had.
Oh yeah. I think
Casey,
I
you
heard about
okay?
that.
I'm still crying. Okay.
Poor Casey here. My bad.
No, this is what the fans came to watch. This is what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so Jake Paul's boxing right now, and he just boxed somebody by the name of Ben Askren. And here's the thing, though: Askren is not a boxer. Askren is a grappler in the UFC. So he's like an MMA fighter. Oh, I might have just butchered that. I actually don't know the designation that he is, but he's not a boxer. But he got clapped by Jake Paul in the first round.
Yeah, didn't he get a TKO, Jake
He
Paul?
did. He knocked down Ben Askren once, and the referee immediately called it off. Which raises some questions about, you know, who he should be fighting as a boxer because he's good now, and Ben Askren maybe should have done better. But mostly, you know, this generated a shit ton of money. The event was so poorly run. Go to the TMG podcast if you actually care about a breakdown of it, because I don't know enough about it to really break it down. But it was super poorly run. But the event made like $100 million. So Jason or Casey, either one of you or both, if you could have any celebrity grudge match, any two celebrities, probably from any time period to make it more fun, who would you want to have box each other in like in this type of like celebrity boxing match?
That's a tough question. I believe that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I don't know if you count this person as a celebrity, Ray Lewis, Ravens football player, were
Sure, yeah.
Miami teammates.
Athletes are
at
celebrities. That's a
football.
whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So now that I think about that, I think like a Miami grudge match of Ray Lewis versus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
How tall is Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis, if I remember the statistics correctly, is 6'1", 240, give or take a little.
Because that's a huge part of boxing is the physical matchups. Because The Rock is 6 something, surely, like probably closer to 6'4", 6'5",
6'6", I guess.
you know, somewhere in there. And so while at one point, or not at one point, I agree, and I think Ray Lewis would be more of a beast, like more aggressive. Like he would be a lot to handle, but I think The Rock has a very clear advantage just because of his length, his arm span, and his height. And I mean, The Rock's big. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, give him credit for that as well. But just size alone, I think most people would struggle against The Rock because there just aren't many people bigger than him.
I mean, the one thing that I will say about that, Ray Lewis is a Hall of Fame middle linebacker. I think he's one of the leading tacklers in NFL history, if not the leading tackler. So I think that you give him enough time to prepare. I got to bet with Ray Lewis. I think it would be a tough fight. I think it would be aggressive, but I mean, I think, I don't know if I had to flip a coin. It would be a coin flip, but I had to flip the coin. I'd pick Ray Lewis.
So before we go to Casey's pick, because I'm curious, I want to hear what your take is on this. But Jason, I want to ask, because The Rock used to play football. So do you think The Rock in his prime is as like a running back? Let's say, could Ray Lewis in his prime tackle Dwayne The Rock Johnson in his prime as a ball carrier? I don't know what The Rock played in football, by the way, so I don't know if he would ever have been.
Defense, didn't he?
I think he was
a
defense.
defensive player.
But let's say that Ray Lewis has to tackle The Rock. Do you think Ray Lewis could stop Dwayne Johnson hauling ass at him?
Yes, because let's look at Jerome Bettis, also known as the Bus, 250-pound running back or so for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ray Lewis, on multiple occasions, there are videos of him hitting the bus going full speed and driving him backwards. There's also Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers quarterback, 6'6", 240, big, strong man. Made a career out of making sure people couldn't tackle him. Ray Lewis decked that guy. There's no one that Ray Lewis cannot tackle in the opening field. I mean, this could be bold. Ray Lewis could tackle. I mean, if he could get a hand to Tyreek Hill, he could tackle Tyreek Hill in the open field.
Okay, there you have it. I think we have one grudge match settled right there. Casey, who would be your dream grudge
Dead or Alive
matchup?
was
Dead
a
or
great
Alive.
twist. I think it's easy for me.
Okay.
DK Metcalf, if we're going football,
Okay.
and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. I like that. I like that matchup a lot.
That video of that, or that picture of DK Metcalf specifically
Yeah.
at the draft where he is like cut, like he is shredded.
Yep.
And what, he's 6'6"?
6'5", 6'6",
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
230.
Only 6'3"? Damn. Okay.
Man's got vert.
How tall is Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan, I don't know how tall he was. He'd be no match for DK Metcalf.
Let's say he's 6'2", because I feel like he's probably not taller than DK Metcalf, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's pretty tall.
I was just picking somebody.
You just want to see Ronald Reagan get his shit rocked.
I want to see someone kill Ronald Reagan. Is what I'm trying to see. Like, I'm trying to see someone who can like punch hard enough.
You chose the one man who survived an assassination attempt to be like, I want to see someone finish the job.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's 6'1". Oh my god!
Kinda called that.
Here, I was gonna say Andre the Giant versus Ronald Reagan, but I feel like it needs to be somebody in modern day. Like, it needs to be somebody that has felt the economic implications of Ronald Reagan, and like, because part of me wants to do Donald Trump too, but like, I feel like I would just rather see Ronald Reagan.
See, this is interesting because Jason, you kind of took the approach of like, it's just a bold matchup. Like, it's just two super physical people, athletes in their prime, athletes to the day, just slugging it out. Casey took the lane of, I hate this historical
vendetta,
figure,
yeah.
and I want to see their cheeks clapped in the ring.
I mean, like, I would say,
I mean, do you have a second one?
Yeah, another thing I was going to say, going off people, I would like to see, going off that, I mean, I'd like to see Vladimir Putin. Someone take down Vladimir Putin.
Who do you want to see take down Vladimir Putin?
That's a tough question. I mean, Andre the Giant, that's a good possibility. DK Metcalf. I mean, I'd have to go, Cam, you're going to appreciate this. Who's one of the hardest hitters in the NFL? He retired recently. I'd like to see Cam Chancellor of the Seattle Seahawks.
That's my boy.
Bobby Wagner could be good. Luke Kuechly.
But I have a question going off that, because you chose because Ronald Reagan, I don't think was really much of an athletic specimen. I wasn't there for him. I don't know. Have you seen the shirtless photos of Putin in the Russian tundra? I don't want to go toe to toe with that man. And I think, wasn't he like ex-KGB or something like that?
Probably.
Like, I think he has like special forces background. So it would be interesting to see him just against like a box. Like, so let's say, for like your example, let's just choose, someone like Ray Lewis, for example. Ray Lewis is big. He knows how to tackle. He probably knows how to throw hands. Rumor has it. But he's going up against special forces, Vladimir Putin. Does that change the game for you?
Putin's a bit bulbous in the belly.
What's a really good, like, celebrity athlete couple where they're both athletes?
Oh, the Ertz.
Yeah, I was just
The
gonna
Ertz.
Yeah, right. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Zach Ertz and Julie.
Zach and Julie
Johnson?
Ertz. Yeah,
Julie
Johnston.
We won't go there. We've already rehashed that.
Because I kind of want to see a couples match.
Against each other or
No,
like
no, of Zach and Julie Ertz versus Ronald and Nancy Reagan. Like, is it sexist
Did
to say
Reagan also do something bad?
she had the whole fucking drug campaign?
Oh, she was Dare, right?
She was
did the
Dare.
I had to do the Dare. Dude, it's funny we're doing this while Jason's here celebrating his 21st. I took the Dare pledge in 5th grade where I was like, I promised to like never, ever do any drugs.
Fuck that, bro.
Because my school made every 5th grader do it.
Dude, okay.
It was just part of the curriculum. Like every 5th grade had to go to the Dare program, put their hand over their little heart at the end and say, I swear to never, ever, 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 ever do a drug.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Nancy Reagan was not complicit in any of this.
Sure.
I'm not going to sit around and say she's an instigator. Like, I think that they both did a lot of it. And I'm like, because it's sexist to say that I want Nancy Reagan to get knocked out.
Not by another woman. Or is that part of the problem? I
Is that?
don't know. I don't know.
Like, but I feel like, okay, because here's the other thing too, is I don't think that just because you're jacked, you're a good fighter.
Sure.
So I want to pick people who I know can throw a punch. Like,
who's your best fighter?
What do you mean?
Like who's your champion then? Who is like not going off pure side? Because someone like The Rock, we
boxers
know,
are out of the question, right?
No, you can do boxers too, but like there are other fighters as well. Because like The Rock was in WWE. You have people like Conor McGregor who did boxing once, but they were mostly known for like MMA.
Well,
So
that's my thing.
anyone.
Like,
But this is a boxing match that we're like trying to set up.
because I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to make it like cliche and pick a boxer.
Sure.
So like, because like my favorite athlete probably is Muhammad Ali, and like best boxer ever. So like, I like theoretically I would want to see Muhammad Ali versus Ronald Reagan. You know, like I would rather that. Like I know he can throw a punch, but I'm trying to think of people like.
I think
can
I know who
any,
I would go for.
Can I think of any like viral videos of like people throwing punches at bars?
Dude, I think we're forgetting the GOAT of fighting. And I'm gonna blank on his name, which is super embarrassing because I just called him the GOAT. But it's not. Oh fuck, what's his name? Bruce Lee.
Oh, Bruce
Lee would clap anybody's cheeks.
Of course.
He was the fastest, the strongest, and the most technically gifted fighter of the modern era.
Absolutely.
And I think he could go toe to toe with any of the fighters we've mentioned.
Could you imagine? Was there? There never was. I hope, or maybe I don't hope, because I would want to see it. But like a Bruce Lee Muhammad Ali fight.
No, they had too much respect, and they were
Yeah.
like different fighting. Like they respected each other as fighters in different worlds.
Yeah,
and it
they're
just
very
would've been, like,
different.
Bruce Lee probably could have boxed, and Muhammad Ali probably could have learned martial arts, but there was never any point. They were just the goats of their respective like fighting genres. So I don't think they ever they might have sparred, but I don't think they ever have a fight.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali had MS or Parkinson's. What did he get? What did he have?
Oh shoot.
MS, I think.
I think it was.
Am I wrong?
I think it's Parkinson's.
I think it might have been
Parkinson's?
Parkinson's, but I'm not.
'Cause
I'm not
when
sure
would that
on
have-
history?
Developed. Like he might have been able to. Might have been able to fight Ronald Reagan like during.
Oh, I think because wasn't Ronald Reagan, was he during the Vietnam War? And that was like Muhammad Ali's whole thing of like
No. That was you know politics more than we do.
Yeah, during the Vietnam War, the main
president?
president was Lyndon Baines Johnson. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
LBJ was Kennedy's assassination in '63, left in '69. Reagan was 1981 to 1989.
No. I've had this fight with somebody. Do you know who LBJ is?
like I've heard the name in terms of like he's been a president.
Was it
but-
you? No, I was talking with somebody that did not know who Lyndon B. Johnson was.
Oh really? It wasn't.
And
I don't like. I remember he was a
They
president.
were
I
like,
have
they've
no idea
never
who
heard
it
of Lyndon B.
was.
Johnson. I was like, the guy that signed the Civil Rights Act, like, like, regardless of the fact that he wasn't like, he was formally elected because he got elected, whatever,
He-
reelected
the following term, right?
But
yeah.
like, that might have been a pity election. Who knows? I'm just saying, like, regardless of the fact that like he wasn't really elected, he was still like one of the most prolific presidents as far as like impact.
really,
Yeah, he
this is news to me.
LBJ was very impactful. He signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So he did a lot of policies. He actually won very convincingly in the election. I don't know if it was a pity election. That election is the famous Daisy ad against Barry Goldwater, one of the most famous political ads
Tell us.
in history. I might be blanking on all the details, but there's a girl in a field, little girl in a field, probably about 5 years old, looking for flowers, and they have a nuclear bomb go off in the background. So, and they don't even say Barry Goldwater's name, but it was very clear. And LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, won the Electoral College, I think about 480 to 60 or 70, something like that. So it was, or probably like 58, something like that, but it was a very convincing blowout. One of the largest electoral blowouts in U.S. history.
First of all, well done for knowing the Electoral College votes for a president election like 50 or 60 years ago now. But second, I do want to bring up, like, was LBJ actually pushing any of the things that he signed, or were they just kind of put on his plate with the times? Like, was he actually the catalyst who was like, we need these things? Or was there just so much social pressure because of everything going on at the time that it would have been like a crime against humanity if he didn't?
I mean, I think you can make an argument for both. Another important thing about Lyndon Baines Johnson is he is the former Senate Majority Leader. So in terms of really knowing Congress, he was an expert in the Congress. So you're probably not going to be able, actually he was a Democratic senator from Texas. I know that sounds weird nowadays. But he really knew the Congress. So his innate knowledge and expertise in the Congress was a very big reason that he was able to marshal, especially in the Senate, where at that time a filibuster was actually 2/3 of the Senate. He was really, with his knowledge, able to, and of Congress and his aggressive nature in the Senate, he was able to marshal it through the Civil Rights. So you probably do not get those laws, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, signed without Lyndon Baines Johnson. So that's the positive part of his administration. Now, you had a lot of unrest. He did a lot of bad things, especially lying about Vietnam. So, but the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act really would not have come into fruition probably without LBJ.
Thank you for that history recap.
And
I
that,
literally
folks,
didn't know anything about anything that was just said. So thank you very much.
is a dad fact. So we got ours. I'm gonna stick with DK versus Reagan. I like
Okay.
that pick.
Yeah.
Who's your celebrity fight?
You know, I don't want to. I think I would like to think I would have chosen this even if it didn't happen.
Okay.
But
okay.
because it's happening in IRL,
Oh yeah.
it feels like I'm just ripping it off. But I want to see Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul fight in the ring, or Logan Paul. Sorry, actually, you know what? No, Logan Paul's had a bit of a redemption tour. He made
a little
like,
bit.
a little bit. He's not great,
A little
but
bit.
I don't want to see him get smacked by Floyd Mayweather as much as I want to see Jake Paul get smacked by Floyd Mayweather.
Correct.
So I guess Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather.
Yes. I still want to see him get his shit rocked.
Yeah.
Because regardless of the fact that maybe he's doing a little better, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Dude, did you see the video of the Jake Paul call out video for Conor McGregor?
What, like, did it just come over from a while ago?
I think it's a while ago where he's like sitting in a Tesla or like Lamborghini.
Yes.
He's got the flag on. I want Conor McGregor to fight Jake Paul. That's what I want.
You know, honestly, I was thinking about that one, but the problem with that one is Conor isn't a boxer. I want a boxer to take on, because Jake's already shown he's got the power and the technique of like a decent boxer. Like he hasn't really been tested. And the truth is, everyone he's fought since the first fight, he's beaten in like the first round, so no one's had the time to test him really.
So Mayweather is a boxer?
Mayweather, yeah, he's the most successful boxer of all time. And that's why he's undefeated. He's the GOAT of boxing of like the modern era. Kind of want to see him fight.
Could we do like a Jake Paul like Pacquiao fight? Is
Honestly,
Pacquiao a
probably.
boxer? He
Yes,
is.
Pacquiao's a boxer.
Because Pacquiao's also like a notoriously like good guy too, right? Like I would
Right.
love to see him like beat the shit out of Jake Paul.
Yeah, although there's a little part of me that kind of likes the idea of a clash of the titans of just like the rich assholes. Like either way, the world's getting rid of one rich asshole. Like someone's losing their dignity in that fight. I would hate it if Jake Paul lands a great hit in the first round, takes out Pacquiao, and then it's just like he just keeps doing his thing. It would give him too much credibility.
It's high risk, high reward, you know.
It is. It is.
You're going off what Casey just said. I'd agree. You'd like to see. I always like the story. You're seeing a good guy really give a bad person their comeuppance. So I'd love to see Manny Pacquiao lay out Jake Paul. That would be great.
And okay, so I feel like we're winding down a little bit. I wanted to bring this up now because we had been talking about like Ronald Reagan a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about hot for you this week. So this is something we do at the end of every pod. So if you have one, take some time to think about it. Cameron and I will do it first. This is kind of like a recommendation of something that you've been into recently, past week, future week. And mine happens to be related to like the Ronald Reagan thing. It's a podcast called Death at the Wing, and it is fantastic. It's Adam McKay, who directed The Big Short and Step Brothers and Vice. And it's a podcast that's like investigating in like the around the 80s is when the NBA started to get like really popular. And there were a lot of like young players that ended up dying for various reasons.
Whoa.
And so he like dissects each one and how it had like the reason behind the death had like social implications and stuff. It's like one of the episodes is Len Bias, who went to University of Maryland.
Oh shit.
And was drafted by the Celtics and then overdosed on cocaine the day after the night he was drafted, the night after.
Damn.
And basically was the catalyst for the Speaker of the House at the time, or Senate Majority Leader, I forget which, to enact like the war on drugs. Like the Democrats like were not. Camera, I think the camera might have died. It might have just died. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the audio only.
Welcome to the
portion of
audio only portion of the
podcast.
podcast. Yeah. So like the Democrats were like, we're not quite on board with the war on drugs yet. And then the senator, he was a senator in Boston, and so he was a Celtics fan.
That person you're talking about, it was Tip O'Neill, House Speaker, Democrat from Massachusetts.
Yeah. So thank you.
That's a dad fact.
That, folks, is a dad fact. And so, like how I was talking about this earlier with my dad, how like Boston sports fans take sports so seriously, and like it would have been also he had like a meeting with him like 3 days after the draft, and it would have been fucking huge for his fan base, or like for like just in general for Boston and Massachusetts. So it was like a catalyst for the Democrats starting to become on board with the war on drugs.
Whoa.
And they basically were like, cocaine was like a cool drug at the time. It was like a rich people drug. And so they were like, there's no way he had never tried coke before and overdosed once. It had to have been crack, which was never found. There was no evidence of crack. And so it was like, it's investigating all these different things. So like that's just one. The most recent one had a I forget his name, but it was a like a Yugoslavian player who ended up dying. So it was like 1992-ish. And so it was like talking about the Croatian-Serbian war. And so like it's just really kind of a fascinating, and it's Adam McKay, so it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek at times, but it's like serious topics, super accessible. And it's just creative that it's like talking about these players uniquely, because it's like all these players that died, talking about the NBA, the growth of the NBA. I thought it was the first few episodes talking about the NBA and the ABA, which was like the rival for a little bit. So and then they merged. So I really like, it's just a great podcast, super informative, super fun. So that's my hot for you this week.
Very nice. I have been keeping up with a lot of the ongoing current Pokemon card crisis ongoing across the world right now. For those of you who don't know, COVID-19 brought a whole new era of Pokemon card collecting, apparently. I definitely wasn't a part of that. I can't afford it. And this has led to a lot of like reselling on eBay, and people going through their old collections because they have nothing else to do at home and trying to find the cards that are in good shape, because we were all kids. We used to like throw them in the dirt and like run around in the rain with them in our pockets. So the ones that are still in good condition are worth a ton of money. And there are like certain services that can grade these cards for like quality. And like a 10 is a perfect card. Like it doesn't have any markings on it. And these services are like pretty niche because not many people do this type of thing where they get cards graded, but they're overwhelmed, and it's like swallowing up their business that there's like 10-month waiting lists now for these companies to fully grade cards. And companies like Target that traditionally sold cards are like getting run into the ground by fans just trying to get like all the cards they can at like midnight, the release and stuff. And it's fascinating because I feel like, we grew up, we kind of grew out of Pokemon for a while, but like at the same time, I also
love
feel like
it
there's kind of a
still.
switch away from like I feel like younger kids weren't as into it for a little while. They were still making their games, but it didn't seem like as popular.
Right.
And now everyone's back into it. So I've just been kind of keeping up with the drama, seeing
That-
how it goes, how it plays out.
I just think that's like it's so like it's funny. It's just crazy. So is the recommendation Pokemon cards and then continue to overwhelm all the grading systems?
Yeah.
Like keep it up. I think
Yeah.
we should shoot for at least a year for a waiting
Oh
list.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy. I haven't read the article yet. This sounds so like 21st century, but I liked the tweet so I can read it later. Like I have not like read it yet.
It's an interesting article. It makes me feel a little bad about like wanting to like go and get like a pack of cards myself or like order some off Amazon, but at the same time I might have to do it soon because it's kind of got me back into it.
I loved Pokemon when I was little. I used to I used to keep like my 10 favorite cards on me at all times.
Oh, you got to keep them on your person. Yeah.
But I would always forget them and then wash them.
No.
And they were my favorite cards and I put them in the wash.
Oh, that's so sad.
And but as like a little, so I like grew out of them kind of, and I have some of my favorites still, but my mom for events, she always like gets me a pack of Pokemon cards, which is really
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
And it's really cute. And I've gotten some good ones out of the one packs, but
Yeah, I mean, that one time we went to downtown Annapolis, we went to the comic store and got some. I packed like, I don't know what it was. It was like EX or whatever gen they were on at that time. And it was just like, the thrill you get
when you like
is insane.
just one pack and you get like a fucking crazy card.
I have
it's
never
awesome.
reached that high again. I peaked right there.
It was funny. It gave me some
Crazy.
credibility talking to the like fourth graders when.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, like they had like because I had the handbook at one point, or the manual that had all of them, and then they had one, and it's like twice as big
It's
now.
gotta be
So
great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, shout out Pokemon.
what about you, Jason? Do you have a hot for you recommendation this week?
I've sadly been in finals week, so really I don't really have any recommendations at this time. But
What about not even for this week, just like recommendation in general? What's media thing you like?
For the people at home, what is one thing you want to recommend that they get into, they listen to, they view, anything like that?
Watch.
That's a tough question.
How about the shirt you're wearing?
Oh yes, rugby's really sometimes it's a little confusing. Not as confusing as cricket. That could be something we
Really?
can discuss on another hot take podcast. Cricket, the most confusing sport in the world, but rugby is a very fun and interesting sport to watch. So I'd recommend that.
Hell yeah. Jason, it's been an absolute pleasure
It has been
to have you here on the show with
such
us.
an honor, pleasure for you to be here.
Can't wait to have you on again in the near future.
So happy you were our first guest.
Happy 21st birthday.
Happy 21st.
Very excited to celebrate.
Everyone drop a happy birthday in the comments. You can't comment on a podcast. If you're
No.
watching on YouTube, drop a happy birthday.